Hello everyone, with the Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, August 11, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so taking a look at this post that was made here on our social media platform today, it highlighted the anniversary of Hurricane Charley. Many people remember another Hurricane Charley from 1951, but that's not the one that we're referring to. The Charley that we're referring to right here ends with an EY as opposed to the 51 storm that ends with an IE. And it states here, today in hurricane history, 21 years ago on August 11, 2004, Hurricane Charley passed Jamaica's south coast as a Category 1 storm, bringing strong winds and torrential rainfall, causing one fatality and racking up $4.1 million in damages. Do you remember this hurricane? And this video definitely gave some decent insight as to what took place regarding Hurricane Charley, the damage it contributed to, especially across the parishes of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, and the one fatality that it caused. Definitely a devastating hurricane for sure. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather look that just came out at 7:06 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:06 p.m. Jamaica time. So this just came out, and as you can see, we have a few X's on the map. They won't amount to a thing, 0% chance for both entities. As a matter of fact, this one right here used to be that code orange that was across the main from our region. We see that it is no longer expected to become anything, but we have a brand new code yellow right here. It has some, DNA, like what the weather channel said, of what was off the southeast coast of the US that pushed up to the northeast, but as you can see, it only has a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and the next 7 days. So it's not going to be anything at all. But regarding this system right here, we have a brand new tropical storm. That's Tropical Storm Erin. And if we actually take a look at the infrared, we can make out almost all of these entities. The code yellow right here to the east of the northeastern US, the X right here, the other X right over here across the Gulf, and brand new tropical storm Erin. As you can see, Erin is definitely a small system, but it is formidable. Definitely brought some bad weather to the Cabo Verde Islands a day ago, and it's going to continue to be formidable, especially if it affects land, because this system is expected to develop. If we actually take a look at the names, we know that the next name after Erin is Fernanda. It doesn't seem like we're going to be getting Fernanda right now, but as you can see right here, Tropical Storm Erin is definitely looking decent as of right now. It lost some of the convection this morning, but as you can see, it built all the way back up. A lot of deep convection in the yellows, reds, oranges, blacks right here just to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands, and it is still pushing off towards the west as we speak. The EPS, that's the Euro Spaghetti models, definitely showing that the system should continue pushing off towards the west, and then possibly passing to the north of the Eastern Caribbean. Even the GFS spaghetti model plot showing something similar, and if you look closely, you can see the intensity going up in the greens, the yellows, oranges, all the way up to hurricane status as it makes its way to the north of the Caribbean. And it's making sense that the tropical storm model intensity guide is showing something similar. It's right there in tropical storm status right now in the greens, and by about the next 2 days It's expected to make it all the way up to category 1, maybe even category 2 or 3 hurricane status, major hurricane at that. And as such, the Hurricane Center has highlighted the same, and that's because it don't really have much in the way of strong upper level wind shear out there, and it is definitely in an era where the dry, stable Saharan doesn't really going to be doing much of anything to the system. But as you can see, the Hurricane Center is stating that as of right now, it is packing maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. We know tropical storms basically pack winds from anywhere from 39 to 73 miles per hour winds. So it's down there in the low tropical storm status scale, closer to tropical depression than hurricane status. As you can see here, it's expected to continue being a tropical storm all the way up until Wednesday, then possibly a hurricane. We see the H is that represents hurricane status, and the M, as we know, represents a major hurricane status. That's anywhere from category 3 to 5 as it makes its way to the north of the Eastern Caribbean on Saturday afternoon. Very interesting forecast for sure. Even the Euro and the GFS supercomputer model runs are in agreement now. Yesterday, the Euro wasn't so strong with the intensity, but we see the millibars have gone down 984. Definitely caving to what the GFS is showing. The GFS is even stronger than that, 961. And both maps right here are showing where the system should be by 18Z on Sunday, August 17. That's 1 p.m. on Sunday. As you can see, the Euro is right here just to the north of the Leeward Islands. Definitely possibly even bringing some moisture to portions of the Leeward Islands into Puerto Rico. GFS is a bit more so to the west, to the north of Puerto Rico, but we still see the greens represent the moisture that it could bring to a portion of the Leeward Islands for sure. We'll see exactly what happens. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Definitely have to keep a watch, on this system, because who knows, what if it makes a dip to the south? What if it chooses to come closer to the Leeward Islands than expected? We definitely have to keep watch. It is hurricane season. Erin could be a sneaky system, but as of right now, Hurricane Center is definitely sure that it's going to be passing to the north of the Caribbean. Let us see if that actually takes place. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a tropical wave right here across the Eastern Caribbean. We can see that we have Tropical Storm Erin right over here, and all of these entities, as usual, are being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridges of high pressure to the north. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, we can make out all of these entities. First of all, the X over here that we saw in the Hurricane Center, the other X over here across the Gulf, the tropical wave, the moisture associated with it pushed through portion of the Eastern Caribbean today, even although it's not really strong. We can see some nice moisture to the southwest of Jamaica, and we can see Tropical Storm Erin right over here. A lot of clouds associated with the intertropical convergence zone right here, extending from northern South America into portions of Western Africa as we speak. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Monday, August 11, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast of parts of some northern and western parishes on Monday afternoon. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? At around 1:25 p.m., the visible satellite image was posted not only here on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page with the Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. And as you can see here, the clouds, they were definitely bringing some isolated showers, if not some isolated thunderstorms, to section of northern and western parishes for sure. Areas like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, maybe section of northern Clarendon, northern St. Catharines, southern St. Anne, southwestern St. Mary, southwestern Portland. Even portion of St. Thomas got in some rainfall. My area definitely got some decent on and off rainfall today, and I'm grateful for the cool down for sure. Then at around 4:05 p.m., the infrared satellite images were posted. The infrared highlight all of the deep convection associated with cumulonimbus clouds. And we can definitely see the blues into the greens, yellows, oranges, and reds. That represents the thunderstorm activity. And we see the sparkling white dots in there that represent the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, especially across the north coast for sure. We mentioned yesterday that the upper level wind shear would have blown those cloud tops off towards the north, and that's exactly what happened. And if we look, we can definitely see the thunderstorms, especially across section of St. Anne, Trelawney, section of Hanover for sure. And if we take a look at the final post that was made here, we highlighted the live camera from C Jamaica's YouTube channel at around 5:06 p.m. This was in Little London, and look at the heavy blinding rainfall that was taking place at that time. Even had some flooding down there. We see some people over here taking shelter. Definitely a bad situation, and this is the norm. I'm pretty sure that this is the norm for Westmoreland for sure. When we look at the satellite imagery, they're always getting in on that afternoon thunderstorm activity. So this is not, anything out of the ordinary at all. A lot of flooding in the streets already, as you can see right there. I'm glad that we have this live camera. It's just going to be showing the contrast between Western Jamaica here in Westmoreland and Kingston, where we have most of the live cameras. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before we lost sunlight, we can definitely make out the cloud cover that brought us some rain in St. Thomas, some rainfall across sections of St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Westmoreland, and then, Hanover and Westmoreland for sure. Definitely got on the thunderstorm activity. The infrared right here confirming that thunderstorm activity across sections of Westmoreland. It was the final area to finally get some rainfall before all was said and done. Most of the rainfall was across northern parishes for sure. And if we take a look at what happened right here over in St. Andrew, we have crossroads right here. As you can see, definitely sunny for the most part. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place at that time. That was 1:27 p.m. People walking about, going about their business. People in their vehicles going about their business. And as I've stated before, if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit C Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. Taking a look at the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website. This map does indeed paint quite the picture of where we had that rainfall today, especially across sections from northern and western parishes, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, northern St. Catherine for sure. That was where the brunt of today's rainfall was. And if we take a look at some of the comments that came in here on our social media platform, you have Marlon_1God_ stating place hot weather Jamaica, one Ryan __ stating got some rain in Hanover. And even on this post, we have Strong Body Bar stating where this and none not in Mandeville. We have First Lady Kefiche stating sun hot here in Portmore as expected. Even Steffi _Spitfire stating overcast. We have Carl Sweet stating clear in Kingston. Thank you all for confirming what the weather is like in your area today. Alright, so let us reload the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website. Let us reload the latest Jamaican Doppler radar, the latest Cuban Doppler radar, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar, and the latest Cayman radar to confirm what we're seeing now on the infrared. So the latest satellite image right here from the infrared is showing 23:45 UTC, which is actually 6:45 p.m. So this just came out 10 minutes ago, considering that it is 6:55 p.m. right now. As you can see, we can actually make out some thunderstorms. It looks like it's across portions of southwestern Trelawney, southeastern St. James, maybe the cockpit country right there. But clearly the thunderstorms that were affecting Westmoreland have, dissipated. We see some grays into blues, represent some cloud cover here and there, but do we actually have rainfall in any of those bands? Let us look at the latest Doppler radar imagery from the Jamaican radar site, the Jamaican Met Service at gov.gm. Alright, so this is the latest imagery. So we just saw the timestamp right here on the infrared, that's 23:45 UTC, so that's 6:45. This one is showing 23:40 UTC, so this is 6:40, so this is 5 minutes before what we saw on the infrared. And as you can see, some rainfall right here to the west of us, and we also see that rainfall across sections of the cockpit country right here. Northwestern St. Elizabeth, section of southeastern St. James, southwestern Trelawney, definitely getting in on some rainfall in the greens. The yellows represent some moderate to slightly heavy rainfall. And we even see some ice detritus right here across southern St. Anne as well. If we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar imagery, looks like it glitched out at around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 5:30 p.m. Jamaica time. But at that time, we saw some rain bands right here across western Jamaica. Let us see what the Guantanamo Bay U.S. Navy radar is showing. Seeing some rainfall across sections of southeastern Cuba. That's nothing new. We also see some rainfall right here between Haiti and Jamaica. Don't really see much of anything across northeastern Jamaica though. But if we take a look at the Cayman radar, we can actually make out some of the rain bands right here exiting Westmoreland and pushing out towards west. We also see that rainfall at the end of the frame. You can see that rainfall across section of southeastern St. James, southwestern Trelawney, to confirm that we're definitely getting on some rainfall over there in the cockpit country, just like what the Jamaican Doppler radar showed. Taking a look at the live camera right here from Sea Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing the Bogwalk Gorge in St. Catherine. We can see people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing in the way of bad weather took place. This is a southern parish, didn't get on much of anything at all. Most of the rainfall was to the north of there today. Definitely dry conditions for sure taking place at this time. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Tuesday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Tuesday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellows that we know represents up to at least 1 degree Celsius above normal temperature. And we know the normal temperature for the month of August across Jamaica is around 91 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, it's around 32.8 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32.8 to 33.8 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Tuesday. And unfortunately, we have some maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS Online Twitter page that we have to highlight. And we know that we have to highlight these because we know that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or AC to cool us down. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, please let them know that a power outage is coming their way on Tuesday, August 12, 2025. We're referring to Robbins River to Bog in Westmoreland from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Also, Clydesdale in St. Anna from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mulgrave, Elderslie, Ipswich, Marywood, Breadnut Walk, and Environs, all in the parish of St. Elizabeth from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Highgate, Belfield, Claremont District, all in the parish of St. Mary from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Melwood Crescent, Upper Melwood Avenue, all in the parish of St. Andrew from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. as well. And we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others including children, elderly people with medical conditions and pets. Be cool, stay indoors and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugary drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites. Within those rays, we can see the abundance of dry air across the waters of the main development region, extending from Africa into portions of the Caribbean. The dry air, as we know, is responsible for keeping the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain. But what we're liking that we're seeing is a lot of moist air, especially across the waters near to Africa. Right here, we have all of these clouds, where we have tropical storm Erin right here. We see a lot of moisture across the central to the southwestern Caribbean, off the east coast of the US into the Gulf, right here off the coast of Central America, a lot of moist air. And you notice wherever we have the moist air in the blues, we have a lot of clouds in the grays, and wherever we have clouds, you know, that's where we get some rainfall. So we want more moisture across the entire basin for sure, so that we get more rainfall to keep water in our pipes. But unfortunately, the Saharan dust is definitely approaching quickly. August 12, Jamaica should still be in the clear, but by August 13, we see the greens into the yellows into the oranges starting to push through, especially to the south of us. That's where the brunt of the Saharan dust should pass. We're grateful for that. I'd rather it pass to the south of us and push into Central America than come into us. But we're still going to be on the northern edge of that plume. We're going to be seeing the very hazy skies on August 13 into August 14. Definitely triggering some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons, asthma, sinusitis, you name it. So I hope and trust that everyone has their meds handy. But as you can see behind the Saharan dust, some break in between here and there, fluctuations. This is nothing new at all. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, still seeing that the highest waves are to the south of Jamaica, the dark blues into the purples. That's a 2 to 2.5 meter wave height. And that's because of the strong easterly winds that are expected across the Caribbean, up to 20 to 25 knots in the bright greens and yellows. But if we zoom in on Jamaica's wave forecast tomorrow, to the north of Portland, 1.1 meter wave height. To the south of St. Thomas, 1.6 meter wave height. To the north of St. Anne, 0.9 of a meter wave height. So too to the south of Manchester. To the north of Hanover, 0.8 of a meter wave height. To the south of Westmoreland, 0.9 of a meter wave height. And that's because of the winds that are expected tomorrow. We see more of 16 knot winds to the north of Hanover tomorrow. To the south of St. Thomas, though, 16 knot. To the south of Clarendon, 19 knot. And we also see where the air is expected to pile up. Wherever we have the least amount of wind, that's where we could have those low-level clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. And it looks mainly across western Jamaica for sure. So that's where we could have those low-level clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. And the upper-level winds are shifting tomorrow. Today, the upper-level winds came from the south across that. Tomorrow, it looks like the upper-level winds are going to be coming in from the north, if not the northeast. So if we look back at the infrared showed that when we had the cumulonimbus clouds, the thunderstorm cloud tops were being blown off towards the north. Tomorrow it's going to be the opposite. Cloud tops are going to be blown off towards the south. But it looks like most of the rainfall tomorrow is going to be across western Jamaica. That's where we see all of the air piling up. And we're going to confirm right now with the rainfall forecast maps. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 5 p.m. Eastern. Standard time is actually 4 p.m. Jamaica time. The Euro is showing blues that represent rainfall across central Jamaica. See much of anything across western Jamaica, but we know when it comes to afternoon rainfall, the GFS is the best one to use. And as you can see here, the GFS is showing the brunt of tomorrow's rainfall at 4 p.m. across western parishes. We're talking about maybe section of southwestern Trelawney, southern St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, maybe northern St. Elizabeth. And we also see some slight shades of blues bleeding into northeastern Manchester, northwestern Clarendon, maybe St. Andrew as well. We'll see maybe some isolated afternoon thunder showers across sections of western parishes and inland areas of some central parishes. Upper level clouds blowing off towards the south. We'll see exactly what unfolds. So it's definitely some rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here from the Euro and the GFS are adamant that it's going to be raining somewhere in Jamaica within the next 24 hours. The Euro going up into the yellows, into the slight oranges, maybe up to 0.4 of an inch of rainfall, especially across the west. GFS going up to at least 0.36 of an inch of rainfall. And whatever happens, we'll definitely take it because we're in the month of August, and in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive around 100 millimeters of rainfall for the month of August. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive almost 5 inches of rainfall for the month of August. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives for the month of August or for the entire year in terms of rainfall, you can visit weatherandclimate.com and that website to show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters that we receive on the rain gauge. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go to the next one, John 68 hours. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens that represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. So we're looking at the Euro first, and we just looked at Tuesday's forecast. So we're looking at 12Z on Wednesday, which is actually 7 a.m. We see some rainfall across the western Caribbean. Then on a Wednesday afternoon, what do we see? We actually see some greens that represent rainfall across mainly central and western parishes. That's what the GFS shows. Wednesday morning, nothing for Jamaica. Wednesday afternoon, rainfall across central and western parishes too, just like what the Euro was showing. What do we see for Thursday morning? Thursday morning, we see some moisture to the north of Jamaica. Thursday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across section of some eastern parishes. We'll see. What does the GFS show? Thursday morning, rainfall to the northeast of us. Thursday afternoon, looks like rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes, if that's accurate. Also, we need to note the system that's Tropical Storm Erin starting to come into view right here, just to the east of the Leeward Islands, right over here. See it on both the Euro and the GFS malls. Then let's see what's expected on Friday morning. Friday morning on the Euro, maybe some rainfall to the northeast of us. Friday afternoon, rainfall across mainly central and western parishes. What do we see on the GFS? Friday morning, rainfall to the southwest of us, north of us as well. Friday afternoon, what do we see? Rainfall across eastern, southern, and western parishes on the GFS. Interesting. And look at where Tropical Storm Erin would be located on the Euro, right here. Just to the northeast of the Lesser Antilles. We see that on both the Euro and the GFS. GFS is a bit closer to the Leeward Islands by that time. Let us see what Saturday morning shows. On Saturday morning, not really seeing much of anything across Jamaica on the Euro. Saturday afternoon, looks like some rainfall across some southern and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Saturday morning, maybe some rainfall across the far eastern end of Jamaica. Saturday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes, if that's indeed accurate. What do we see on the Euro for Sunday morning? Sunday morning, not really seeing much of anything. Sunday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across section of some eastern, central, and western parishes. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. This is valid for the end of the next 7 days. So this is around 7 a.m. on Monday, August 18. Don't see much of anything across Jamaica, but we do see a very formidable possible hurricane to the north of Puerto Rico. That's Erin, and trust me, the location of Erin could definitely influence the weather across Jamaica. It's not going to be causing an easterly flow that we usually get with the high pressure ridges. If anything, more of a northerly, if not northeasterly flow. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a normal kind of thing where western Jamaica gets rainfall by that time. If Erin is indeed that close to the Caribbean, it's definitely going to be influencing the weather for us. Just look what the GFS shows. Sunday morning, nothing for Jamaica. Sunday afternoon, eastern, central, and western parishes. And just like the Euro, we're stopping it at the end of the 168 hours. Definitely a bit too close for comfort to the north of the Dominican Republic. We also see some rainfall across eastern and western parishes. We didn't see that on the Euro, but we definitely see it on the GFS. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what takes place at the end of the next 7 days. And even the total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days are in agreement that it's going to be raining somewhere in the Caribbean for sure. As you can see here, all of these dark reds into the purples and the pinks represents anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rainfall. I can definitely see the line associated with the rainfall that's expected from Tropical Storm Erin. That's a lot of rainfall out to sea, and we also see a lot of rainfall as usual across section of northern South America into Central America. This is nothing new, and we see it on both the Euro and the GFS models right in here. So they're definitely going to be getting some isolated flash flooding across those areas, while other areas that are shaded in the yellows, oranges, reds, at least up to 1 inch of rainfall, as you can see here by the key on the right, like anywhere from Florida into the Greater Antilles and the Lesser Antilles, an inch of rainfall or less that's expected for most of us. And if we zoom in on Jamaica regarding our rainfall totals, we can see Jamaica shaded right here in blues and greens. Both of these maps from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now until Monday, August 18. And we can see that on the Euro, definitely less rainfall, anywhere from the blues into the greens. That represents maybe a millimeter all the way up to maybe 30 millimeters of rainfall. And the GFS is a bit more robust with the rainfall totals that's expected across the next 7 days for us in Jamaica. We see anywhere from a millimeter all the way up into the 40 millimeters of rainfall range. And whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Alright, let us see what's happening on the 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook for the Eastern Pacific. Well, it's also showing the Central Pacific, and as you can see right here, we still have Hurricane Henriette to the north of the Hawaiian Islands. And we now have post-tropical cyclone Ivo right here to the west of the Mexican coastline. If we take a look at the infrared, we can see the leftover clouds associated with Ivo right in here. Don't even have any convection associated with that. But if we look right here, we can see Hurricane Henriette. Way to the north, we don't even see the Hawaiian Islands right here, but still a formidable hurricane, as you can see here, quickly pushing out towards the northwest. The hurricane center has stated that it is currently packing maximum sustained winds of 85 miles per hour. So it is up there around category 2 strength at this time. Well, is it? No. It's looking at the knots. Over here, it's anywhere from 74 to 95 miles per hour winds. That's a category 1 hurricane. So it's still a category 1, as you can see here, moving up towards the northwest at 18 miles per hour. As you can see, it's expected to downgrade back to a tropical storm by Wednesday, then back to a tropical depression by Thursday into Friday, then pushes off towards the northeast. Regarding the Western Pacific, we can see that we still are watching the system that's Podol right here. It was a tropical storm. Now it's a TY, that's a typhoon, as you can see right here. It has been moving a bit more west than to the northwest, and as such, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center has adjusted their forecast cone. Remember, yesterday it was forecast to clip the northern portion of Taiwan. Today, now they're saying that it's going to be clipping the southern portion of Taiwan. And look at the intensity, making it all the way up to 85 knots in intensity. You know that anywhere from 84 to 95 knots would make it a category 2 hurricane. As you can see here, should continue maintaining typhoon status. It's packing 65 knot winds right now, so it's a category 1 hurricane, as you can see here. Expected to continue pushing off towards west northwest, possibly making it into eastern China by around the 13th day of August. And I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what eventually occurs. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.